Okay, Candice, quick question for you.
Okay.
How do you feel Disney announcing something new?
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah? Tell me more about that.
Okay. The reason that I say that is because, there's always the best of intentions, right? They always want to come up with the newest, latest, greatest, very best, all of these things. And I understand that. I also understand that what happens in a concept may not be reality. Also, with some of their decisions, I think they are made in sort of a knee-jerk fashion or a very reactionary fashion to what is hot and popular and hypey right then and there, but it doesn't always have the staying power of some of their other decisions.
Right.
Those are usually the ones that end up not great.
Right. If they don't announce with story, it just doesn't feel as good.
Right.
Like if the well thought out story is not already baked out before they announce, the execution generally lacks just a little bit, right? So yeah, I tend to agree with that. And it always feels to me, why does it feel to me like Disney announcements are like waiting for exam results? Like when you were in school and you were getting those tests passed back to you, why does it feel like that anxiousness that comes with that?
Right. Like you think you know how it's going to be, but you're not sure.
Right.
And there's always room for disappointment.
Right. You're bracing for that A that you know you studied for.
Yep.
But for the moment you have to pretend that whatever somebody came up with at 3 a.m. in a fever dream has to be the greatest thing ever. It kind of drives me nuts.
Yep.
So today, folks, we are going to spend some time talking through the recent D23 announcements that happened. So hopefully you are not feeling like Candice and I with our little bit of existential dread that comes with announcements. But today what we're going to do is we're really just going to walk through everything that was announced. This was not a huge announcement year. Not a lot of new stuff was announced, but there were a lot of little things that were reaffirmed, and we're just going to react to everything that kind of came out of D23. So grab your drink, sit back, and enjoy the ride. Hey, welcome to Hangin' at the Hangar Bar. I'm Scott.
And I'm Candice. We're here to chat all things Disney as child-free Disney adults. Stories, snacks, and a little magic along the way.
Grab a drink and get comfy and come hang out with us. Okay, Candice and fans, welcome back to the Hangar Bar.
Thank you.
Happy to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Today, D23.
Yes.
We're going to talk about all the things.
Okay.
There was a lot that was announced at D23. I know you know some of it, probably not all of it, because I think you tend to gear towards park-related stuff, so we'll get there. But we're going to start with some of the movies and entertainment type stuff that they announced. And again, like I said in the cold open, it wasn't a lot of big announcements this year, but there's a lot to react to. And for our audience, just know that Candice does not know in what order we're going through things, what we're going to talk about. These are going to be her honest reactions as we go through, and I'll be sharing my 2 cents on a few things as well. Ready to get started?
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is Avengers Doomsday.
Okay.
The Russo brothers teased at D23 that Avengers Doomsday is bigger than anything we have ever done, introducing jaw-dropping practical sets and massive crossover stakes. Dr. Doom is the threat, and there's a lineup including the Avengers, Wakandans, New Avengers/Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and Original X-Men. Filming is underway in London, and it's scheduled for release on December 18th of 2026.
Okay.
So we got a year and a couple months before we get to that one. You're not a huge Avengers fan, right?
I don't know that I've seen... No, I have seen some of the Avengers movie. A couple of them, like the first 2.
Yeah.
They're okay.
They're loud.
They're loud.
Yeah, you don't like loud movies.
That's my thing with a lot of the superhero movies is they're fine. They're fun. If I'm in the right mood, Deadpool is some of my favorite.
Right.
but it's all loud and very overwhelming
Yes.
for me. So
yeah. But when they come out and call this the biggest thing, bigger than anything we've ever done,
that scares me.
that scares me.
Honestly.
Like, that's bigger than Endgame. And we've not seen Endgame, but like that was supposed to be the knockdown, drag out, end all, be all.
Yes.
And they're saying it's bigger than that. That's a lot to live up to.
It really is.
And I get that D23 is a place where you go out and you make a splash and you say controversial things to get podcasters talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But really, the biggest thing they've ever done.
That's a lot to live up to.
Yeah, it really, really is. So we'll see. Again, we're not huge Marvel fans, so we'll see if we go see that one. But we know people that are big fans, so maybe we'll have them on when it releases and see if it lives up to the hype that Disney themselves created.
Right.
It's interesting. Okay, so the next in the entertainment thing is moving to The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Okay.
Not another series of the show, but a movie.
I think, yeah.
We knew that. So we knew that was coming. Again, not a lot of new announcements. So
just enhancements.
Yeah, they showed a first look, which showed Mando and Grogu in a snowy landscape, potentially Hoth. There are AT-AT or AT-ATs, as Andy correctly said they probably should be called. And why he said they should be called that made perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
Squirrel moment. And Grogu even pilots a ship. Cue that adorable chaos of Baby Yoda out driving a ship.
You know what they could do with that?
What?
They could reimagine Star Tours into something tolerable. With Grogu driving the ship.
I don't know that it was a D23, but I've actually heard they're closing Star Tours.
That would be fine.
And replacing it with something else.
I think it's garbage.
No, they announced that last year, the animation courtyard stuff with the change to the Muppets and all that, right? Like they needed the space for something else. I'll have to double check that. Don't take our words for it in this episode, but we'll talk about it, I'm sure.
Okay.
When we get back into park news at some other point, but it was not announced as part of D23, but I think Star Tours is closing.
Okay.
The Mandalorian and Grogu is slated to open on your birthday, 2026.
I think I'm busy.
You like the Mandalorian series.
Yes, but birthday, come on.
Well, we don't have to go on opening day, but I wouldn't mind seeing that one in theater.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about the first look having something that appears to be Hoth in it?
I don't know. Part of me is just salty because it's Hoth.
Right, and it's snowy and cold, and you ate snowy and cold.
Yes. Part of me thinks that it could be sort of a tie back to Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm. The Empire Strikes Back 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Exactly.
That was a Gen X movie reference for those of you that don't know.
Yeah. I don't know because, like, unless they do tie it back to that, it's not going to make any sense. Like, so what? They go to a snowy planet. Big deal. What's the significance of going to this snowy planet if you don't tie back to something from people that have known Hoth before?
I'm trying to remember the timeline. Does The Mandalorian take place after, like, Empire, like the original trilogy, but before the sequels?
I don't know, because we saw Boba Fett in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, we'll have to check with Andy and Jackson on that for the timeline, because I don't know the timeline for sure. Because didn't the base basically get blown up by...
That's what I thought, but there again, I mean, see, this is why I'm just...
And maybe they're going back to reestablish the base or find someone. Who knows? We'll have to go see the movie to see. But yeah, it'll be an interesting one. Mm-hmm. I think we talked about that when we did our Star Wars episodes, and I think we'll talk about it again when we get those guys back on, is how do you stay true to the storytelling of Star Wars?
Right.
And not try and do too much in a movie like that.
Right.
Especially when you had all that time to establish character and all that in the series.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next up on the agenda, because we all love a good sequel or five-quel, Toy Story 5 is in development, release date of June 19th of 2026. So Pixar previewed the opening for Toy Story 5. A whole group of Buzz toys waking up on a deserted island after having been lost at sea. And then the only other thing that this resource says is Conan O'Brien joins the cast as Smarty Pants, a potty training toy. They should have been done after Toy Story 2.
I agree.
Toy Story 3 was an okay movie. The only redeeming quality of Toy Story 4 was Forky. So is a potty training toy going to be the only saving grace of this movie? Like, I
don't see the purpose.
Why do they keep going back to that well other than to keep the land at the parks relevant?
That, and if they're trying to tie something more in with the cruise line and the deserted island, and they're going to be doing some development on Castaway, I don't know.
Yeah.
They need it's okay just to let things go.
All right. Yes.
That franchise, Frozen, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah, 100%. So here's an original Hexed, Hexed, is new from Disney Animation.
Okay.
It's a new original story from Disney Animation. It's directed by Josie Trinidad and Jason Hand. I don't know who those folks are. And they feature a teenager and his type A mom discovering magic.
Okay.
And it's slated for a November 2026 release.
That tracks. It's animated, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's from Disney Animated. So maybe this where they're talking about going back to more of the hand-drawn?
Maybe. That might be the first
one where they kind of go back to, we're going to go back to our original of what?
Hand-drawn, which, fabulous. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm all about a new Disney story. Like and they've done a lot of new stories in and amongst the sequels, but I think sometimes they pit their own new stories up against sequels that people are comfortable with. And if you have a kid that loves Toy Story, are you going to take them to see Toy Story 5 or a brand new movie that you know nothing about the story?
Right.
You're going to go to the one they know and that they love the characters from versus introducing them to something new. So sometimes Disney shoots themselves in the foot a little bit.
But, yeah.
Okay. So, again, here are some more sequels that are coming up. So some extra reveals. Ice Age Boiling Point.
Okay.
So I think that's the end of the Ice Age. Right? Like the one thing I've seen about that is the squirrel actually gets to eat the nut that he's been chasing. So that's kind of funny. That arrives February 5th of 2027.
Oh. Okay.
And then Zootopia 2 is confirmed for November of this year. It's going to release. Again, my guess is that has to do with timing of the parks.
Yes.
Like, let's get this movie out and get people excited about that kind of thing in Animal Kingdom.
But here's my thing with that, is Zootopia is so perfect just as it is.
Right.
Like, it's fine as a standalone. The story wraps itself up very nice and neat. There really is no need for an additional one other than, like I said, getting people to the parks when they're building this.
Right. What story is there left to tell?
Right.
Unless you do different characters from the same universe.
Which there's a lot to do there.
Right. But if you go back to the same characters, what story is left to tell?
Right.
Again, I'm not a creative in that space, so I don't necessarily get it. But as I get older, I'm more and more upset that we're not telling enough original stories. People are relying so much on just what makes the most money,
and it just
versus the
lazy.
best. Yeah. And it's all about coin.
Of course it is.
Right. Okay, so a couple others, again, sequels that are coming in 2028. You have The Incredibles 3 and Coco 2, which are both coming that are slated for 2028.
Okay, I thought Incredibles 2 was amazing. Incredibles 1 is possibly one of my favorite movies.
Right.
Ever. Incredibles 2 was fantastic.
Yeah.
They're pushing it.
Yeah. Agreed.
And then what was Coco 2?
Coco 2 was the other one.
Why?
Again, what story is left to tell?
Right. It wrapped itself up. It resolved itself. What I think they should do, and we've had this conversation before about how when we were growing up, the big thing was the Disney Vault.
Right.
Where you could only see movies at certain times when they released them and what have you. But with the advent of Disney Plus and digital media, that kind of all went to the wayside. They could do a digital vault very easily.
Right.
And just take some of the stuff off for a while and then re-release it and have all the hype that it did before.
Yep. Release it back to theaters.
Yes.
Yep.
And then have it run for like limited engagement on Disney Plus.
Right.
Whatever. And it would be fine and they could stop all this because, again, these beautiful stories that wrap themselves up in a neat little package, there doesn't need to be any further Eisnerism.
Right. Yeah, agreed. Okay. And then the last thing is another original that I don't know anything about, but it's actually coming early next year, a movie called Hoppers.
I think I've seen something about it.
I've seen trailers, I think, for that one, but I don't know anything about it. So I'll reserve judgment. But again, it's an original story. So, is Hoppers the one that the commercial is, this feels like Avatar? And you'll like, this is not Avatar.
Yes, I think it is.
Okay, so that one actually looks like a pretty cute movie that is Avatar animated.
Yeah.
But with cute little animals instead of aliens.
Yes.
Okay. That's all we know about entertainment that's coming. Let's jump into what we probably cherish more about D23 is park announcements.
Yep.
First and foremost, I think you're excited about this one because you told me about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you texted me as soon as you heard this one. Cinderella Castle is getting a refresh. So Imagineers revealed that Cinderella Castle at Magic Kingdom will be repainted a new palette inspired by its original design, featuring grays, creams, blues, and a touch of gold. Durable finishes include automotive-grade paints, UV weather-resistant coatings, and high-gloss details crafted to catch sunlight. No timeline on when they're repainting it yet.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I'm so excited. We're going back to the original, the way it always was meant to be.
Do you think after that they'll then do another birthday cake version?
Oh, my God.
I had to. You know I had to.
I know, and I was fully expecting it, but no.
Get that out of here. That is too funny. Okay. Do you think if they're going back to like original color palette and that kind of thing, do you think they're going to do something like bringing back the dream lights or anything like that?
I would love to see that because those dream lights were amazing, especially the hidden Mickey.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they wouldn't.
Right. Other than it's just actual light that has to be hung on the castle versus being able to just project from 4 projectors halfway across the world.
Again, let's stop being lazy and bring back some of the magic.
Right. Yeah.
I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, that one's fun. Here's one that I am here's the word I'm going to coin for this next one. I'm nerve-sided.
That's one of my favorite words.
Okay. I'm nerve-sided because they've announced a major overhaul of Carousel of Progress.
Yes. I told you about that one too.
Yeah, you messaged me on that one, but I had seen that one before you messaged me. So the classic Carousel of Progress at Magic Kingdom will receive a new audio animatronic figure of Walt Disney himself introducing the show in a revamped opening scene, continuing the celebration of Disney's legacy. So I am excited about that. That's the part that I'm 100% excited about. Get Walt up there instead of just the gears and the voiceover. Have Walt introduce the show.
But.
Yes.
It needs to be an improved version of the animatronic that they released in California so that it looks more like Walt.
Yeah, and it depends on like what year Walt they use. Are they going to go with a younger Walt because that's when he was doing Carousel of Progress? Or are they going to go with kind of that late state? Like, yes, I think they probably learned some lessons. They'll improve from the one in Disneyland.
Yeah.
But what makes me nervous about this is they've also said they're going to update the rest of the ride or the rest of the attraction.
Yes.
Are they going to try and take the last scene to Imagining 2050? And if they do that, do we skip straight from the 1950s to 2050? Is it let's imagine what life is going to be like 100 years from now? Or are they going to remove the 1950s and make that 1980s or 2000s and do something further? Like, are they going to start expanding past what the 4 quadrants were?
See, I think that's something to be nervous about, because it's like if you update the last scene, you can't leave the first 3 the way that they are right now, because that's too big of a gap, and technology changes so much.
Right.
Even in a year's time, you can't do that. So what you almost have to do, in my opinion, is you almost have to start the attraction in the 1960s-ish.
Which, if that's the case, I will chain myself to the building. I get where you're going, but no. 100%, I think you're right that it covers about 100 years of timeline.
Right.
But if they say we're going to start in 1950 and look ahead to 2050.
What would be really cool and would kind of tie Walt's introduction into it would be if he tells the story of how he developed the idea for it, and then we went into what the technology was working for at that point.
Okay.
And move forward.
I could get behind that, I think. Like, I'm going to reserve judgment, but I think I could get behind, like, let's just completely redo it, have the same carousel, but we're going to talk about maybe how theme parks have changed over the time instead of
company.
Right. I could maybe get behind that. But just saying, let's take out the 1920s.
No,
let's do turn of century 1950, 2000, and 2050. There's too many gaps in there. There's too much, like, I'm, again, reserving judgment to see what they come out with a plan. I've said this in this podcast a lot, and what I want them to do is I want them to have Walt introduce it, and then I want them to make the rest of it a museum piece.
Mm-hmm.
Walt says, this is what I created to show the future of technology, and it runs from the turn of the century till about 1980.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe there's, in the end scene before you leave, they do a quick 30-second, what do you imagine for what's going to be the next 50 years? But make it more of a museum piecey kind of thing, and even take that last scene back to what it was when Walt designed it.
Yes.
That's my ask. I know it's not going to happen, but that is what I would love to see. Refresh it, repaint it, all of that, but go back to what Walt built. Even though it's in Tomorrowland, go back to it's Walt's Tomorrow. It's Walt's Carousel of Progress. Mm-hmm. He didn't get to see past 1965, but he dreamed about 1980. Mm-hmm. Let's show what he was dreaming about and figure out a way to connect that to, as you leave here and go into the world of tomorrow, what do you envision? Make it more of a dreamy kind of thing. Okay. We could talk about that all day. Mm-hmm. So let's move on.
Okay.
This one is kind of a little thing, but if you want to experience this next thing, we can when we're there. So they are doing a Tron Light Cycle Run overlay for the Halloween season to coincide with the Tron movie that's releasing. So in a tie-in with Tron Ares, the theatrical release is on October 10th. Tron Light Cycle Run at Magic Kingdom will receive a limited time overlay starting September 15th, so just next week, featuring red, orange visuals and a 9 Inch Nails soundtrack. Shanghai's equivalent follows on September 16th.
Okay.
So they're going to play 9 Inch Nails music and make it red and green instead of the blue, or red and orange instead of the blue and green.
The blue and orange, you mean?
Is it blue and orange now? Okay, so now it's going to be red and orange. They're replacing the blues with the reds because the Tron Ares, like, everything is red in that.
Okay.
So, again, that's the kind of Walt tie-in that I think Walt would have been like, yeah, go for it. Change it red, make it match the movie.
Whatever. Yeah.
You're not changing the ride. You're putting more modern music with it, all of those kind of things. So yeah, I think that's a good change. Like, people love overlays, and it makes the rideability higher. When you have a ride that's less than 90 seconds, you need people to go back on it again.
That's true.
If you have a 3-hour wait to get on something that's 90 seconds, you need to make sure people have a reason to go back and wait in that line again.
They also need to reevaluate their choices, but that's my opinion.
Right. Okay, so the other thing they kind of talked about is, again, they reintroduced or re-talked about the villains-themed land that's coming to Magic Kingdom. I don't know that they've said dates for that yet, but Imagineers shared concept inspirations for a villains-themed land coming to Magic Kingdom. It's influenced by Art Nouveau architecture, drawing from motifs found in Paris and Barcelona. The style, dubbed conjured architecture, merges historical design with fantastical villain elements.
Love that.
I am so excited for Villains Land. I think that is such a good ad. Now, do I think they should have found room on property to do a fifth gate? Probably, but having that be there, I think, is a pretty special thing.
Yes, I agree. I'm excited, and I know that we will be spending a lot of time in that once it's open.
Yeah, agreed. And they didn't talk a lot about Cars Land in this one, because I think that one is pretty well set. We've seen concept art for that, so they didn't talk about that much at D23. The other thing they announced is When Dinosaur is going to be closing over in Animal Kingdom. That's closing on February 2nd, 2026. So if that was your favorite attraction, make sure you get yourself to Disney World. I know somebody who can help you plan that. She happens to work for a company called Minx Cruise and Travel. Right?
Yes.
She can get you there so you can get on Dinosaur before it goes away. And that's going to be replaced by the Indiana Jones attraction, which again makes perfect sense there in Animal Kingdom. Dinosaur doesn't really make a lot of sense anymore since it's not Dino Land.
Right.
But the Indiana Jones one will kind of match what they have in Disneyland as well. So that's goodness. Okay, and this one isn't parks news, but it's all about parks. So Disneyland documentary, Disneyland Handcrafted, is in production.
Okay.
Filmmaker Leslie Iwerks announced a new documentary, Disneyland Handcrafted, premiering this winter on Disney Plus and Disney's YouTube channels. It explores the creation of Disneyland using rare archival footage and an ASMR element, spotlighting the art and grit behind the park's construction. I don't know why they had to call out
the ASMR part of that.
Right. Why did they have to call out ASMR as part of that?
That's a little weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but we'll see. Okay, so just a couple more things to talk about, Candice, and then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Okay.
The next thing is actually in Disneyland Paris, World of Frozen. During the Beyond the Spires panel, Imagineers confirmed that World of Frozen, the new land in Disneyland Paris, will open in spring of 2026. It'll feature immersive elements like Elsa's Ice Castle, a Frozen Ever After ride, water shows, theme dining, and character meet and greets. Do you think Frozen deserves an entire land?
No. Never.
So why are they doing it?
Because for whatever reason, that franchise has a chokehold on people. I don't understand it. It's fine. But again, it needs to stop.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. I'm sure it'll be great. It'll be fine. Okay, last thing. We should have put these in order of least to most exciting, because the last thing we're going to talk about is not very exciting at all. There's some new novelty items coming for the Parks and Disney Cruise Line. So they revealed a rollout of 8 new novelty items, including popcorn buckets, sippers, mugs, all that kind of thing. Let me see if I can get to the actual article for this one quickly to see if they list what they are. No, the link to the page didn't work. But yeah, here's my question for this one. So they talk about popcorn buckets, sippers, mugs. Why does that need to be announced at D23? That's my hot take, is why in the hell are we so tied to plastic that has mouse ears on it that it now becomes so big that it's an announcement at Destination 23?
Because it's a cheap way to make a lot of money.
And we just buy into it? Like,
Yeah.
as a society, we're like, give me all the plastic.
Yeah. Even though it only holds 4 kernels of popcorn and maybe 8 ounces of soda.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
And then it gets all sticky and crap. And then you take it home and what do you do with it?
Right. Like, we don't have room to store all that stuff.
Well, we probably do, but I don't want it.
Right.
Because I'm not going to walk down the street carrying a popcorn bucket. I mean, that's a great idea. Maybe I should.
Start using that as a purse.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
Okay, so that's everything from D23. Fans, let us know. What did you think of this year's D23 event? Did you see anything that just made you go, ugh, or anything that you're super excited about that was announced? Movies, parks, anything like that? Let us know. Come out to our socials and let us know what you think. And remember, like, follow, subscribe, all of those kind of things.
Share us.
If you want to support the podcast, you can do it on Patreon. I haven't been updating there as much as I should, but if we start getting more people connected that way, I'll make sure that I prioritize that a little bit more. But you can always support us just at even a couple dollars a month that way as well. So with that said, everyone, have a great week. And remember, there is always a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
And we'll see you real soon.